Breakers have only won one on the road this season. That was in Brisbane, and 2 of their last 14 as Ben Pepper wins the tip, and the New Zealand Breakers, heading to the left of your screen, have controlled the tip. Special hello to all our viewers in New Zealand taking our coverage. Great news that Kirk Penny's earned a job with the LA Clippers. But what can the Breakers do here against the Kings as Olsen fires unsuccessfully and Jason Smith with the rebound? Luke Martin, well known to our New Zealand viewers, having played with the Manawatu Jets last season, and half a Kiwi himself, and now off the ball. Foul is going to be called on Paul Hanari. And the Kings will restart. Ben Knight looks inside. Here's Sanford working hard, couldn't finish it. Roland Roberts with the offensive rebound and the putback to get scoring underway after 30 seconds. Hanari dictating the tempo at the moment, trying to shake Luke Martin, feeds Cameron. Touch pass for Olsen. Now works down low where Pepper, trying hard, has lost control of the ball, but New Zealand will get it back.
That's a good possession for them. Good ball movement, reversals, and a good interior feed to Pepper. He's got to do a little bit more with it once he gets it.
Hanari to restart. Just to retreat a long way to Mike Chappell. Olsen down low, Pero Cameron with a quick step taking on Roland Roberts, couldn't finish it off, and now Sanford having trouble reeling it in, and he and Ben Knight between them have coughed it up, and the Kiwis will get another opportunity.
And the Sydney Kings are going to crash the offensive glass on the other end of the floor. No white shirts after that shot attempt went up for Pero Cameron. Need to pump the glass.
Olsen taking on Jason Smith, and now going to Hanari, guarded by Luke Martin. Chappell goes to work, penetrating past Sanford. Foul is being called on the Sydney Kings. Sanford picks up his first.
That's a tough cover for him because Mike Chappell can nail the three and very good at putting it on the floor. More of a perimeter man, despite that big size of his, about 6'8".
Chappell at just 62% from the free throw line this season. He hasn't been as strong as last year when he averaged 23 points per game to be second in the NBL. He's down to 16 this season. Hasn't shot the ball from long range where he was top 5 in the league last season. This season. And he does get scoring underway for the New Zealand Breakers. Roberts goes to Sanford, who works into an open space and drills a jump shot.
He's able to do that with confidence. Nobody's second guessing him now on those medium range jump shots because Roland Roberts is doing all the dirty work down low. So he can float around and get a couple of those cheapies and shoot those 17-footers.
90 seconds played. The Kings with a 3-point buffer at the moment as Olsen trying to shake Jason Smith, getting plenty to go on with as well. Now finds Pepper down low. He did a good job there with a nice reverse finish to get his scoring account open. Quick release shot down low from Mark Sanford. He has the answering basket at the other end.
And that on the other end of the floor will be a tough cover for Pep because he doesn't want to go out into the perimeter all that often.
Hanari penetrating, attracted plenty of attention. Pero Cameron on song at the moment. Cameron is coming off a very good display against Adelaide, where he had a career-high 23 points in the NBL. And they last played 12 days ago. Kings by a point. 2.5 minutes played in this opening term. Holiday fixture in the National Basketball League's Phillips Championship. Shot clock rolls down to 6 now as Ben Knight got Cameron in the air, charges to the rack and finishes it off.
Boy, that was a tough shot made to look easy. Pep did a good job of rotating quick. Knighty was thinking about dunking that one until the help came. He had to shoot a little floater over it.
Chappell guarded by Sanford, a long way from home. Now finds Pepper left alone at the elbow. 2 pieces of the rim, but it wouldn't tumble, and Ben Knight Going behind the back after dragging down the rebound. Coast to coast, Ben Knight now feeds Jason Smith. His three is off the money, kept alive by Sanford, and Luke Martin goes back to Ben Knight for the triple. That rims out as well, and New Zealand now off and running. Hanari looking for an opening, sharing it with Chappell. Chappell couldn't get there in time. The Kiwis turn it over. First turnover in the match. Luke Martin with a career-high 21 a little earlier this season. Now they go down low, way short from Roland Roberts. Ben Knight kept it alive to Sanford, who misses the layup as well. The Kings haven't played for 11 days, and maybe that was shown there. Here's Hanari penetrating. Just his second field goal from 19 attempts in Fox Sports televised matches. Roberts working against Ben Pepper, who gave him plenty to think about, but Roberts, strong under the hoop, comes up with the goods.
And that's what you mean when you go at the body of a shot blocker. You neutralize that long wingspan.
Too much contact, Roland.
Roland Roberts is called for the foul. And the Kings' big department are getting the job done here. Sanford, Roberts and Ben Knight have all 10 of their points.
Substitution for the Kings.
Too much contact. Michael Aylen telling Roland Roberts that just a little bit too much.
Brad Sheridan into the game, replacing Roberts, and now Ollie Hanari trying to shake Luke Martin. Goes to Cameron, guarded by Sanford. Now Chappell has Olsen in the corner, ready to go. He fills it up from deep, ties the game away. We've played a little over 4 minutes here in this opening period. Sanford, left alone, measures the three. It's short on the rim. Luke Martin claims the rebound. Sheridan looking for options, finds Jason Smith. Back to Sheridan, in turn Luke Martin as they swing it around the perimeter. Now Sanford with a no-look pass for Jason Smith, who dribbles into trouble. Luke Martin sneaks a look at the shot clock. It's down to 3 now, but Luke Martin advanced out of court, and the Kings turn it over. An opportunity now for New Zealand to take the lead for the first time in the match. They scored the last 3. As Chappell shares it with Olsen, in turn Hanari. The Kings retreat into a zone. Chappell, the alley-oop play from Hanari puts the New Zealand Breakers in front.
Boy, that is just something they love to see. A good start here by New Zealand. And I'm sure that they were talking about the Sydney Kings maybe looking a little rusty after all those days off.
Is Sanford bullocking his way close against Ben Pepper, who's called for the foul. His first in the match, second on the Breakers. The Kings have committed 2 fouls.
You can execute plays like this, you will be very happy about playing on the road. Your team doing things. Look at that. A touch pass. Chappell wide open, just sneaking up behind the zone. Just a miscue as far as communication by the Sydney Kings in their zone defense.
Mark Sanford, who has a career-high 28 for the Kings, that came against the Razorbacks last month. And he's had an enterprising start to this match. His 6 points leads it individually as the Kings tied away at 12 apiece, middle stages of this first period. Olsen back to Hanari. Loaded up on that wing, and it's Olsen who misses. Sheridan the rebound off to Luke Martin. Numbers up the floor as Jason Smith looks for Ben Knight, rolling to the hoop in a mismatch with Olsen to give the Kings the lead.
Good. Knight had a seal on a smaller guard.
Chappell guarded by Jason Smith, feeds Hanari, who stops and pops for the triple, and it's all the bottom of the net as Hanari gives New Zealand back the lead. Now Jason Smith looking for the answering three, caught the front and back of the rim, and Olsen leads the charge. Hanari in support, Chappell joining in. Now Pepper and Pero Cameron arrive as both teams prepare to make substitutions here. Tick over 6 minutes played. in this first term. Olsen bumped by Luke Martin, who will be called for the foul. It's the third team foul on Sydney in this first term.
Foul to number 11, Luke Martin.
Nothing gives your offense a shot in the arm like a couple of made baskets. Now all of a sudden the Sydney Kings can't sag on the guards of Hanari and Aaron Olsen. They got to play up on them, and then they can put the ball on the floor and effectively get to the rim.
Timmins checks in for New Zealand, along with Dylan Boucher, who straight away greets a couple of Kings opponents with a shirt front. BJ Carter into the match for the Sydney Kings. And Luke Martin getting a rest. There's Ben Thompson ready to restart. Paulie Hanari joins in. New Zealand Breakers lead by a point. A little over 6 minutes played in this first period as Olsen makes a beeline for the hoop. Tough shot, wouldn't tumble. Boucher kept it alive to the advantage of Olsen, who was then fouled and earned a trip to the free throw line, where he's been very good this year. Top 6 in the league. 35 out of 40. Aaron Olsen coming into this match from the free throw line.
And that's the play after just tremendous determination to turn the corner and get to the rim. Nothing is harder to guard than somebody that is just going to go hard to the basket on you every single time.
In fact 17-14 is the scoreline here. 5.5 minutes left, term number 1. Ben Knight with a no-look pass for Roland Roberts, who is fouled. Ben Thompson picks up the personal. Roberts goes to the free throw line.
Roland Roberts, after a few games, we saw him get up in the air when he first arrived into the country in his first game, actually in his first possession for a dunk. But now he's able to run the floor and he's got his win. And he doesn't need much time or space to get upstairs.
Two-point ball game at the moment in favor of the Breakers. It's Ben Thompson. Looks for Hanari. Touch pass from Olsen down low to Boucher in traffic. It opens up for Ben Thompson's triple, and that's all the bottom of the net as well. 3 of 5 from deep. The Kiwis make the early running here. They've scored the last 3 in the match, and they lead by 5.
It doesn't look like anything they can't do for an entire match.
Sheridan wants some help. Jason Smith provides it. Ben Knight down on the baseline, gets it next. 5 on the shot clock for the Kings. BJ Carter needs to get it off. He did so. Couldn't find the target. Almost kept it alive, though, with some good hustle. And Boucher goes to Ben Thompson. He has Olsen and Timmins available. Double team. Timmins makes it fit. Excellent finish. And it's a 7-point lead for the New Zealand Breakers. A little over 4 minutes left here, term number 1. Carter shares it with Sheridan. Single numbers on the shot clock again for the Sydney Kings as Knight goes to Roland Roberts for the nice finish.
Well, you can keep the Sydney Kings at bay, run a few gimmicks at them for a little while, but after a while they just execute. They're too well drilled for it to last too long, and right then get the high percentage shot and they're right back in it.
And Thompson goes to Timmins, who has Sheridan to contend with. Now it's Thompson feeding Hanari, who's left open again. And Paulie Hanari, 2 of 2 from deep, has this team motoring at the moment. They lead it by 8 points, and good hustle from Olsen has forced BJ Carter into error.
Net pressure has been constant by New Zealand, trying to keep the basketball out of Luke Martin's hand and out of BJ Carter's. Roland Roberts, watch him see the open area, goes to it, gets a good pass by Ben Knight. You don't get a higher percentage shot than that.
Timeout called by Frank Arcego and the New Zealand Breakers. Their lead at the moment is 8 points. And they are looking strong. They've hit 4 of 6 from deep in the match. And last outing against Adelaide, they were 6 of 30 from long range, so they've started well here.
And Brian Gorgon, I spoke to him before the game about, is he concerned at that roster that New Zealand have, and this should be a tight one.
I mean, just what you muttered. I mean, I've been saying to the guys that, you know, you look at their roster on paper, you walk by them out here as they're warming up, you know, and you start looking at the matchups with Timmons and with Chappelle and with Pepper, Pero, Cameron, their shooting power from the perimeter, their ability to play inside, outside. It just shows at the start of the year we all talked about who isn't going to make the playoffs. And when you look at a team like this that's the last place team on the ladder, the point system, salary cap has really evened the competition. And I see this as big a challenge, especially after the 10-day break, as we've had here.
Yes, the Kings on top of the ladder at the moment, but it is so tight. If they were to lose a couple of games, they could fall outside the top 4. The Breakers, if they win a couple, they'll be in the top 8. That's how tight it is, underscoring what Brian Goorjian just had to say there. 3:40 left on the clock here in this first term. New Zealand Breakers lead it by 8, and they're looking for more as Timmons dragged the pass down but travelled under pressure. Second turnover in the match for the New Zealand Breakers. Kings have turned it over twice as well. As Carter goes to Sheridan.
Good pick, Sid, good pick.
Guarded by Hanari. Sheridan looks for some help. Roland Roberts provides it. Boucher and Hanari between them worried him out of possession, but Sheridan scoops up the loose ball and shows us why he's top 6 in the league from long range. Still the Kiwis by 5. As Timmons gets Roland Roberts in the air, feeds Boucher, who from close range opens his scoring account.
That was such a heads-up play by Dylan Boucher. Saw he had really good position and then just stopped. Good, we get another look at it. Watch this, he sees it. And it wasn't much contact, a lot of acting, but he had good position. Just anticipated where B.J. Carter was going to go.
15th foul on the Sydney Kings in this first term, so they need to be careful now. The New Zealand Breakers have 8 scorers in the match already. The other 2 haven't been on the court as yet, Lindsay Tate and Matt Smith, but every other player for New Zealand has scored, as Pero Cameron against Roland Roberts. Needs help, Ben Thompson works inside Ben Knight, marches all the way down low, and the tip in from Boucher extends the Breakers lead out to 9.
Every outside shot has been uncontested, meaning good ball movement, good ball reversals. Guys are throwing the extra pass. Every drive has been aggressive and aggressive tip-ins.
Sanford with some problems goes to work and comes up with the goods. He has 8 in the match, leads it individually along with Paulie Hanari. But New Zealand with a 7-point buffer as Hanari goes on with the job, draws another foul on PJ Carter, and now some free throws to come.
You don't get these calls unless you take the ball hard to the basket. Looks like PJ Carter got a lot of ball on that one. But you don't put the official in a position to where he has to make a decision whether that's a call or a clean block. It's very difficult to come up with a clean block when guys are turning the corner and trying to get to the rim. New Zealand normally look very tentative, like you don't know how they're going to get a shot off. They have had very good possessions the entire match so far.
Ben Knight did a good job there to steal that one off the rim, and now Roberts needing help, was looking for Ben Knight, cut out by Timmons. Thompson ahead of him, gets it next. Quick release shot from Ben Thompson. He drills the 3, and the New Zealand Breakers lead by double figures here. A little over 2 minutes to play in this first period. They are shooting the lights out from deep. 5 of 7 in the first term after they were 6 of 30 against Adelaide for the match the last time they played.
We'll see how Lindsay Tate goes, because everybody that's coming to the game for New Zealand has been on the same page.
Jason Smith goes to Sanford, who reels it in, fires over Dylan Boucher and knocks down another. 4 of 7 from the field. He has 10 points, Sanford, to lead it individually. The Kings unable to prevent the Kiwis from running off points at the other end. Pero Cameron has it, getting some treatment from Roberts. Down low, Timmons is called for another travelling violation. Says he was bumped by Mark Sanford, but the referees didn't see it that way.
Yeah, boys get no love, and that was a travel the first time he got it, but look at this one. I'm sure that he had a little bit of help here. That's tough. You got to wear it, though, and not let it affect his play.
Luke Martin, guarded by Lindsay Tate, looks to penetrate, wants some help now, provided by Sanford, who's on fire at the moment. He knocks down another, draws a foul in the process. He's a one-man wrecking machine.
Get another look at this. Sanford lets it go. It's hard to see. Official right on that call.
Here we go, guys.
Said he got him on the arm. If their hands meet, it's not a foul. It's just good defense. But you really have to protect the shooter, because just a nudge on the arm can really throw the shot off.
Breakers lead it by 6. 70 seconds remaining in this first term. Mark Sanford's exploded here with 13 points in the first period. Single-handedly keeps Sydney in the frame. Timmins firing. No, in fact, dishes down low to Tate, who was rejected by a couple of Sydney Kings, and now a blocking foul called on the Sydney Kings. It's going to send New Zealand back to the free throw line.
New Zealand playing with a tremendous amount of poise. Remember, they're playing against the team on top of the ladder, and New Zealand just has a woeful road record in every possession. Even when Sydney is hitting shots on the other end of the floor, every possession looks like a team that is right in the hunt. They're in last place.
They've beaten the Kings once this year and led them on both occasions at quarter time in the matches that they played in round 2 and round 6. And 34 points at the moment, closing in on the season high of 40 in a quarter for New Zealand. 7 the margin as Jason Smith, who's yet to score in the match, goes for the help. Ben Knight, and here's Sanford again. 15 in the period for Sanford. Back to a 5-point ball game. A little over 30 seconds left in this first period. Tate penetrate, again rejected. Sanford doing it at both ends of the floor. And now Ben Thompson called for a blocking foul that will send Luke Martin to the free throw line.
Ben Thompson.
Two shots.
Second personal foul.
That's a good foul. When they had numbers, they're going to get a layup.
The sub for the Kings. New Zealand.
It would have been better if they weren't in the bonus.
Well, interestingly, Luke Martin gets to the free throw line more than any other player for the Sydney Kings. His numbers have increased significantly since C.J. Bruton and Luke Kendall were both injured in the same game back on the 17th of November against Townsville.
I like how Lindsay Tate's coming to the game. He's gone aggressive to the basket. Make the defense make good plays. Now, on that occasion, on 2 occasions, they have. But when you're timid, you don't give yourself a chance to go to the line, and then Sydney can overpower you on that end of the floor.
Shot clock just 1 second inside the game clock as we head towards quarter time. The New Zealand Breakers milking it for the last play. It's Pero Cameron charging down low, drawing a foul. He is off to the free throw line. 8 fouls on Sydney in this first period.
And largely due to how New Zealand are putting pressure on him. You know, a lot of times we have seen, well, every time we've seen New Zealand on Fox Sports, they're always playing on their back foot, and their offense has no identity. They have had excellent possessions every single time down the floor. Even when they're unsuccessful, Sydney has to make a great defensive block, or they execute a good shot that just rims out, but they're still going to the offensive glass hard. They have good spacing. They've had a very impressive quarter on the offensive end.
And the Kings are shooting 60% from the field, and they are behind at the moment. Luke Martin lost control of the dribble, and it trickles out on court. That brings the curtain down on an entertaining first period that the New Zealand gets underway. The possession arrow with the Sydney Kings, who work to the right of your screen. They trail by 5 after they made the early running in the match. Let's see what they can come up with now as they work it down low to Roland Roberts, banging bodies with Ben Pepper. Now Jason Smith, who's yet to score in the match, fires unsuccessfully. The tip-in wouldn't work for Roberts. Hanari grabs the loose ball, and the New Zealand Breakers with an opportunity to build on this advantage. Led by as many as 11 in term number 1. For the third straight time, they lead the Kings at quarter time. Chappelle with the shot clock winding down now to 5 seconds as he hands off to Pero. Cameron needs to get busy. They hand off to Olsen, who stops and pops and gets the job done with the shot clock expiring in the background.
Good pull-up, recognized when Luke Martin lost his balance and popped right up for that J, knocked it down.
Breakers have scored the last 6 points, bracketed over the quarter-time break. And again, the Kings having trouble here, breaking down the D of New Zealand. The shot clock down to 5 as Smith fires and connects with his 4th attempt.
Jason Smith just brilliantly working without the basketball there to get that shot off.
Hanari and Jason Smith, respected Olympians for their country. Pero Cameron getting a smack in the face there from Roland Roberts, wanting to go on with it, and came up empty. And Jason Smith hands off now to Luke Martin as the Sydney Kings look to get something happening. Their offense has been a little stagnant. Ben Pepper just commanding the paint at the moment and denying the entry pass as Luke Martin decides to go solo. It was a good option as he knocks down the 3, his first field goal in the match.
Well, sometimes you wonder what's going through a player's head. I used to think rhythm. Am I in rhythm here? Because that's his first shot. They've been slipping behind the screen all game. That's the first time he made him pay for it.
Olsen gets back to Hanari. He's off the front of the rim, and Ben Knight with the rebound. The ball is prized loose by Olsen, but the Kings scoop it up. Luke Martin to Roland Roberts, who adds another 2. And the Sydney Kings fired away on the back of a 7-0 run.
This is what every visiting team experiences when they're trying to get a win on the road. Let's see how New Zealand handle it.
Cameron goes down low where Ben Pepper is fouled by Ben Knight. Second personal for Ben Knight. 9th team foul overall on Sydney. The Breakers have committed 5 fouls in the match. But that's the first in this second period.
Also, they're going to call from one side of the floor to the other. Hands, hands.
Luke Martin lighting it up from deep. It's the 3rd triple of the match for the Sydney Kings. New Zealand 5 of 8 from long range. So the Kings force the error and get possession back again with an opportunity to retake the lead. But they did hold in the first 90 seconds of the match. Sanford guarded by Chappelle. Now it's Roland Roberts looking for Ben Knight, denied by Pero Cameron and his quick hands, and Olsen zigzags his way up the floor, goes to Chappelle firing for the triple, did a lap of honor, and Ben Knight grabs another rebound. Number 5 for him in that category, which he leads in the match, and now he's doing the ball carrying as well. Thought about the 3. The pass to Sanford will suffice at the moment as he spins on Chappelle. Overcooked the shot attempt, and good hustle from Roland Roberts to keep it alive and give Sydney another opportunity. Smith needs help. Ben Knight fires unsuccessfully, and Chappelle grabs the rebound. Good hustle from the Kiwis at the moment, keeping Sydney off balance, unable to establish himself at the offensive end. As Olsen looks to draw a foul on Luke Martin, and eventually does.
Assistant number 11. His second of the game. Sheridan,
Olsen again.
for Sydney.
See, to me, that's a lot of acting. A lot of acting. There was contact early. They took 2 dribbles, lost his feet. With no contact, falls over, gets a foul call. And I think he got bailed out on that one.
Now Hanari, who in tandem with Olsen are keen to take it at Luke Martin and others at the moment. Here's Olsen again, spoon feeding Ben Pepper. It's protected by Mark Sanford with some authority. Ball spills out of court. Absolute confusion center court. Both one knows whose ball it is. And the possession arrow is with the New Zealand Breakers.
Case, if you don't see it, it works out for New Zealand, but if you don't see a deflection, you got to assume there was none. So you can't just say, well, I don't know whether he got a deflection or not. If you don't see it, then it just went straight out of bounds.
Good hands from Sheridan. They can only keep it alive. In fact, stepped on the line as well. And that probably helped the Sydney Kings. Mike Chappelle was left all alone with possession. We played almost 4 minutes here in the second term. And a foot violation from Bradley Sheridan. Such a nightmare when he's guarding the inbound play. Those long arms and legs at times.
Give me a step there, Frank. Give me a step. Thanks, buddy.
Olsen, guarded by Jason Smith, shakes him, picks up the dribble, needs help. Ben Pepper dumps it now to Hanari. Shot clock works down to 10 as Pero Cameron goes at them, and it tumbles. Christmas present time. Pero Cameron gets the 2, draws a foul as the Breakers snap a 7-0 run from Sydney.
That's a good possession. I said, how is New Zealand going to handle this run by the Sydney Kings? That's going to happen every time when you're on the road, especially when you're playing the team that's on top of the ladder. They'll get another crack at it. One of the Sydney Kings in too quick. But New Zealand, although the Kings are on a 7-0 run, they look good on their possessions.
Pero Cameron makes the adjustment. He now has 8 points in the game. Only Hanari with 9 has more for New Zealand. Sanford with 15 leads the game. And the Kings need to get him involved as well as Martin feeds Sheridan. Back to Martin, now Jason Smith, who found an opening. It wasn't a big one, but there was enough for him to measure the triple as he ties it away at 41.
I just don't know whether New Zealand is going to be able to maintain the defensive pressure that they were able to keep on Jason Smith. And Paul Hanari doing a great job whether you'll be able to do that.
Pero Cameron doing a good job drawing another foul on Mark Sanford. That's going to be his 3rd personal. And that creates problems for the Sydney Kings with Brett Wheeler with the injury problems. Roland Roberts on the bench at the moment, but this is Cameron showing his experience. Earning a trip to the free throw line once more.
That's a good play. He landed on him. Most of the time, you have to watch for who initiated the contact, where the shooter leans in. But he got Sanford to lean forward just enough to come down into his shooting area.
Breakers 10 of 13 from the free throw line. The Kings 5 of 7. The Kings haven't been there in this period, and we've played almost 5 minutes. Term number 2. As the Breakers lead it by 2, and now Ben Knight feeding Sheridan. Got inside Chappelle, who's forced a foul. And the fans provide the ironic cheers. That is the 5th team foul on Sydney in this period. Free throws to come.
And if I was Frank Arcego, I'd be in the referee's ear about that not being a travel on Ben Knight. And they called 2 really close travels on Marcus Timmons, and then I thought he walked there and nobody even batted an eyelid.
Jason Smith shaking Hanari, getting down to the baseline. Too strong with the shot though. Chappelle, outlet pass deflected by Jason Smith. New Zealand will restart.
Got a warning, 10. Warning on 10, warning on 10, okay? Enough. Don't come at me like that. We go white.
Jason Smith being warned by referee Graham Clark. Noted by the other referees.
Yeah, he could have got one too. He really barked at him, felt like he was fouled on that last shot.
Inside Cameron. Spacing wasn't right for the pass to Ben Pepper. He goes solo, couldn't finish it. Ben Knight has been busy, and Ben Pepper calls for the foul. That will be his 2nd, and the 2nd on New Zealand in this term.
Well, Jason Smith had a few words to say to Graham Clark. Here you go. Goes back for a 2nd helping too. Not as hard though.
Marcus Timmons replaces Pero Cameron. Ben Thompson checks in for Aaron Olsen. As the New Zealanders make some changes here. Middle stages, term number 2, in front by 2 points. Sydney with possession though. Luke Martin dribbling out of trouble, bows to Roland Roberts, who goes hard to the rim, and he's rewarded with a trip to the free throw line. The foul is going to be called on Mike Chappelle.
Luke Martin with a good pass. Just led him nice. Good rotation by Chappelle. If he didn't put that hand down and get across the arm, that would have been a tough shot for him to for him to finish. Granted, they would have been susceptible to the offensive rebound on that rotation. Because what happens then is a guard has to drop and he'll have to cover the big man that came over for the help from the weak side.
Roberts gets the back end to tumble. He's into double figures, and Roberts and Sanford have 25 points between them as the Kings close to within a single point. Hanari shakes Luke Martin, goes to Timmins, who wants Pepper. With Ben Knight on his back, he goes to work, and over the front of the rim it tumbles for Ben Pepper. 3-point ball game at the moment as Luke Martin shakes Hanari, gets it to Jason Smith. And now back to Luke Martin. Inside Ben Knight from close range. Had it rattle around the rim. Roberts couldn't control the tip, and Ben Pepper took the ball away from him. And the Breakers with another opportunity. 3-point buffer. As Hanari goes to Timmins, his long-range three is way off the money. Roland Roberts must have taken a piece of it. As Luke Martin looks to go to work, he penetrates, bumped by Hanari. Free throws to come. And Pero Cameron on the New Zealand Breakers bench at the moment. Tremendous start from your team.
Yeah, we're not quite at half-time yet, but so far so good.
We look like you guys have a great offensive strategy, great spacing. Every possession you look poised.
You know, we got to be better than usual against the Kings. They play a very intense game. They're pretty methodical in getting the ball inside and pushing. You know, I think the key for us is defensive transition. That's where they're getting their easy buckets, Steve.
You've beaten them once already this year. Is this a team you feel like you match up well against? You look very confident from the tip.
Yeah, you know, both games we played earlier were close, and you know, we desperately want this game just to keep us in the hunt. You know, we're at the bottom of the table and we're playing like we need to win, and that's good. But
the addition of Marcus Timmins has been a good one for you, Pero?
It is. He's got a wealth of experience, and he just brings solidness to the team. You know, he can shoot the ball well, and he's smart. You know, he can hit big shots when we need him.
We appreciate your time, Pero. Good luck for the rest of the match.
Cheers, Al.
Pero Cameron, our live in-game interview there from the New Zealand Breakers. It's a one-point ball game as Boucher looks for some help. Finds it in the form of Ben Thompson. Shot clock down to 7. Thompson fires, couldn't find the target, and Timmins in over the back had last touch there. Sydney will get possession. Luke Martin resumes his battle with Paulie Hanari. Now looking to shake and find Ben Knight, who wants help. Sheridan has Roberts down low, and a nice pass down to Ben Knight for the finishing touches as the Kings retake the lead. Good hands at the other end. Ben Pepper unable to reel it in, and the Kings forcing the issue here. Just starting to assert their authority.
Yeah, the direct opposite of good hands on that one. Just tried to do something with it before he caught it.
As Luke Martin bounds into the paint, caught the back of the rim. Roberts grabs the rebound. Whistle provided by Graham Clark. Foul is going to be called on Ben Pepper, his third. That evens up the Sanford situation for the Kings as he has 3 fouls at the moment.
Anytime the ball takes a big bounce like that off of the rim, there is going to be some illegal holding going on. Watch that thing takes a big bounce. Ben Pepper underneath the basket too far, had to do something before he just gave up an automatic deuce to Roland Roberts.
Timeout called, 4:34 to play in this period. The Kings 46, the Breakers 45.
I chatted with Marcus before the game, and I said, look, the Kings don't have a super intimidating roster. How do you prepare for these guys on top of the ladder?
Basically, like just trying to get our inside established first with Pepper and Perro. That's basically what we're going to look at. I mean, you got Jason Smith, you got some new guys there from Southern Illinois, I think. Roberts, he's a monster right there, 6'8". He can post up, do all types of things, rebounding, getting 20 and 10 rebounds, all that type of stuff. So we just got to go in and be strong inside and take it there from that point. But I think that's the game plan. I think everybody's going to come out and play hard because, yeah, they're on top of the ladder. We're at the bottom of the ladder, and sometimes we can just come out and play and have nothing to lose, but we're still trying to get from the bottom.
Imperative we control the tempo and make sure we get good, easy shots. Got it?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, good. Don't forfeit. Go.
Well, the Breakers right in this match at the moment. They led by 5 at quarter time. The Kings have taken the lead here by a point. But Marcus Timmins, with 278 NBL games experience, is the most experienced campaigner for the New Zealand Breakers now, just ahead of Ben Pepper. And he's averaged 17 points per game in his career, as well as winning championships with the Tigers and the Perth Wildcats, where he was grand final MVP. Roberts has got to the free throw line more than any other player for Sydney in this match. 11 points to his credit at the moment. And the Kings with a 2-point lead. Hanari brings the Breakers back up the floor. Now Boucher. Timmins for Ben Thompson, working inside Sheridan. Boucher rolling to the rack. Travelled under pressure, appeared to be bumped. The travelling violation is called.
Well, New Zealand have been on the wrong end of 3 of those.
Plenty happening off the ball here as Sheridan looks to work to the baseline, feeds Jason Smith, ready to pull the trigger, and he comes up with a triple as the Kings reach the half century on the back of an 8-0 run. They lead by 5. Now the pressure is well and truly thrown back on the Kiwis, and the Kings are looking to drive home the advantage. PJ Carter to Jason Smith, who was scoreless in the first term and now has 8 points to his credit. Very casual pass from Ben Knight, picked off by Boucher. He has very active hands, arguably the best in the NBL in getting deflections and steals on a regular basis. Hanari looks down low, finds Timmins as they share it around. The shot clock works down to 5 now as Boucher was looking for Pero Cameron. Sheridan draws contact from the big man. That's going to be more free throws to come for Brad Sheridan.
That's good foul. I mean, the crowd booing, but they obviously don't understand the game because Bradley Sheridan, this is a layup. Pero Cameron gives him a little bit of a nudge. He's just off balance and goes down.
Boucher and Thompson sit down for New Zealand. 3:14 left on the clock in the first half, and the Kings looking to expand this lead. They've scored the last 8 points, and New Zealand have been restricted to only 9 points in this period. They're 3 of 10 from the field. It has all gone south for them, and now it's a 9-0 run for Sydney, who lead by 6. Olsen to Timmins, harassed by Jason Smith. Now Hanari finding Chappelle in traffic. He needs help. Olsen provides it. Can't make the shot tumble. Pero Cameron grabbed it away from Sheridan, and New Zealand will get another opportunity. Less than 3 minutes to play in the first half as Hanari goes to Chappelle, firing off the front of the rim, kept alive by Timmins. New Zealand getting second and third opportunities here. Mike Chappelle now playing without a number on his singlet. Gets it back, goes to Timmins. Again, the spacing not brilliant for the Kiwis, and Olsen can't finish it off as Sanford goes to Sheridan, and now Jason Smith. Sanford being used sparingly in this second period because of his foul problems. Smith and Olsen go at it off the ball, and Olsen was caught for the retaliation. Doesn't like it from Graham Clark. Jason Smith got a fair whack at Olsen. He retaliated, and he was the one who pays the penalty.
Yeah, you got to keep your head here. Those are just 2 free shots given to the opponent just for retaliating. And you wait, pick your... I really shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway. You kind of pick your spot, and then you let them know that no one's going to give you a little extra shove. I think Jason Smith may have given a little bit extra as he tried to flop in front of him initially on that dribble.
Well, the Kings have scored the last 11 points here. They lead by 8 after they trailed by as many as 11 in the first term. A little over 2 minutes to play in the second period. And it's all gone south for the New Zealand Breakers as Pero Cameron bounces into Roland Roberts, lost control of the ball, now goes back to work. Shot clock works down to 3. Corralled, he somehow manufactures a shot and makes it fit. That is something else from Pero Cameron, who has 12 points to lead his team, and Hanari with another opportunity takes BJ Carter on. Roland Roberts with a great defensive block over the top, but the foul occurred before that, and BJ Carter has 3 fouls, and Hanari's off to the free throw line.
And Pero Cameron, just look at this down on the block. Help comes. He knows the shot clock is winding down. He's got to get one off. It's a hell of a shot. Then on the other end of the floor, Roland Roberts, after the foul occurs, tosses that thing out, prevents the three-point play. BJ Carter felt like that he was grabbed. That's why he lost the basketball, but you got to play strong with it. You got to play through the contact.
5-point ball game. Here's BJ Carter, heads back up the floor for the Sydney Kings. Sheridan needs help. Sanford provides it. Takes Timmins on and others off the window. Sanford with 17 to lead all scorers. He has been hot tonight. Hanari works into some space. Finds Timmins, guarded by Sanford. He hands off to Chappell. Derek Cameron calling for it on the other wing. Chappell went solo, came up empty, and BJ Carter scurries after the pass. Takes Olsen on, was looking for Roland Roberts, and Pero Cameron just got enough of it to knock it onto Roland Roberts and out of court. He is having quite an impact, Pero Cameron, the New Zealand skipper. 7-time championship winner in the New Zealand Basketball League. Here he is again to Chappell, who's overdue. Still can't get a reply, however. It's 1 of 5 from the field for Mike Chappell. And the Kings with a 7-point buffer. Prepared to milk the clock here. It's BJ Carter. Hands off and finds Roland Roberts isolated against Pero Cameron. And a foul called on Pero Cameron. You heard the call from Michael Aylen. Second personal on Pero Cameron. Getting good value out of that 120-kilo frame. And Roland Roberts to the free throw line, where he is 3 of 6 so far in the match. And being quite a presence. Just 12 points for the New Zealand Breakers in this period. 24 for the Sydney Kings. They've turned it around big time. And after they were 5 of 7 from long range in the first period, the New Zealand Breakers, they are none of 8 since then. Roberts gives the Kings an 8-point advantage once more. It's the biggest lead they've had in the match. And Roberts sits down. We see Brett Wheeler for the first time in the match. Only 2 starters on the floor at the moment for the Kings, Jason Smith and Ben Knight. And Jason Smith forces the error from Aaron Olsen to get the last play of the first half. And it's going to break the heart of Frank Arcego. He'll have a chance to tell his players about it as well. Timeout has been called by the Sydney Kings with 21 seconds left here in the first half. And after trailing by 5 at quarter time, the Kings well and truly in the driver's seat at the moment. We'll go and listen with the New Zealand Breakers. Courtside vision and courtside audio for our digital subscribers if you'd rather listen in with the Sydney Kings' Brian Goorjian.
Sorry? Yeah. You don't want to get them fouls, mate. Just keep it nice and good D up the front. Don't bail them out. All right? All right, long way to go. Boys, we need to, at the end of the day, we're going to make the stop now. We're going to get that little slip up back. All right? We've got to be confident. We just can't. Everyone's got to work harder off the ball. When their defensive intensity increases, we're going to work harder off the ball. Now it's our turn to respond down that end. Do you understand that? Good man-to-man, force the ball to the outside. If they go to shakes, hold it up on the on ball, get the top and bottom position. They're only allowed to have one shot. You understand that, kid on the class? Hey, if they go early, or we get 5 seconds, push the ball hard, run it hard, get to the rack. Let's go.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Come on, good deal. Got a rebound.
Well, the Breakers have lost their way here in the second period. Sydney have started to dominate, getting to the free throw line with good authority. 19 free throws in the match for Sydney. They had 7 at quarter time. And 15 in the match for New Zealand, but only 5 in this second term. Kings get possession with 21 seconds on the clock, leading by 8. After New Zealand had led at 33-22 at one stage. Ben Knight, guarded by Timmins. Back to Luke Martin. Now they find Jason Smith coming off a screen at the top of the key. He ices the triple. What a finish to the first half from the Sydney Kings. They rattle off the last 6. And at the major break, they have a double-figure lead. Half-time from the Kingdome, it's Sydney 59, New Zealand 48 here on Fox Sports. $28 points to just 12 in that period is the way the Sydney Kings have turned it around. And their star player Jason Smith was scoreless at quarter time. He has 13 at the moment, and he's ready to talk now with Steve Carfino.
And who are you going to call if the last shot of the quarter, first quarter, second quarter, fourth quarter, you just want the rock, don't you?
How long have I been telling you? How long? Not enough. No, look, just in the right place at the right time, and I got the confidence now. I've done it a few times this year, so no, look, the ball's coming off nice off the hand, so I'm looking for it.
Well, New Zealand have a good roster. You guys aren't surprised at how well they play. You've played them a couple of times already.
Yeah.
They look good, but your D really turned it around at the end of the second quarter.
I mean, how many open shots did they have in the first quarter? Wide open threes, uncontested, secondary shots from offensive rebounds. So we, Gorge said, and we said in huddles, we just got to pick up the defense, slowly grind it out. It's going to be a physical game, and it turned around for us.
Zone gave them some trouble too.
Yeah, initially it was pretty bad, but I think once we got out and got to their wings real hard, so we can't let them just catch and shoot, it's effective for us.
All right, thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, well, who are you going to call if you want to see some power dunks, some long three-point bombs, and, of course, the cheerleaders? If you watch NBL Rap, you're going to call on me. We're going to show you what you're missing.
It's time for Plays of the Week.
With the All-Star game just around the corner, we're going to have to fine-tune the dunk contest point system. What do you think, kid?
He's no Leon Trimmingham. I'll give him a 2.
I want to be judged by my peers. What does James Smith think? So. He's not as good as me. What do you think about me? Darnell me, that is. 2 triple-doubles in 1 week. Ian Stacker flat out just don't like me. Pat Reedy says, give me some personal freaking space, man. Chris Burgess has something to say to Troy Pillin. I believe it goes a little something like this. You can't guard me. You can't guard me, and you know it. Dr. Adrian Hurley, is he a perfectionist or what? Brian, nice shot, but can you point your toes and smile at the crowd next time? Yeah, coach. 3 things you shouldn't do around D-Mac. 1, crossover dribble. 2, not be ready for a pass. And 3, ovulate. The man has 7 kids. Ooh, chilly. Tough crowd in New Zealand. Like Mike, I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Mike. Nice hat, pal. Living proof the Kiwis can't dance either. You're killing me, buddy. This guy's got some moves, but I don't know about this run, though. You need to work on that a little bit, young brother. Ben Knight says good night to the Brisbane Bullets as the Sydney Kings pull off their second straight 1-point come-from-behind victory. What club we going to later? I hope she's there doing that dance right there. West Side representing the Uni Loonies. Tony Ronaldson with a miss, but he gets the steal and the putback, and he likes to celebrate with Liam Rush. Yes, And this is a very nice Mac play. Scotty Mac with the miss. Sammy Mac recovers on the defensive end with the nice block shot. And then Sammy Mac throws it to Scotty Mac. Would you like McFries with that, Santa? Plays of the week.
Wanted to come out very positive and wanted to let the Kings know we've come to play tonight. And we probably let it slide a little bit late in the second quarter there. And we've got a little bit of work to do, but we feel confident that, you know, we've sent a message that we're here to play, and it's our job to make a run in the second half.
No doubt you'd like to get Ben Pepper involved a little more at the moment. Sanford and, of course, Roland Roberts have been big for Sydney.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job. They're probably a little bit more athletic than maybe our bigs, and we've had to deal with that. But, you know, we're going to persevere and get some stuff going inside, and hopefully Pep can really lift in the next couple of quarters for us.
Olsen and Hanari in the backcourt, they appear to be ready to go right from the start here. Do you have something special for them?
Oh, well, we had a big chat about how important it was for them to do a great job on a couple of their really good backcourt players from the last couple of weeks, with Luke Martin and Jason Smith. So they've put their work in, and now the other guys have got to complement that.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks a lot, Case. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Frank Arcego, coach of the New Zealand Breakers, who trail by 11 at the major break. 59-48 is the scoreline in favour of the Kings. Stay with us. We'll have the second half in just a moment. 10 games in 32 days. This will be make or break for the Sydney Kings in January. And one of the many celebrities here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre is a man who's performed here himself. Former WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Anthony the Man Mundine, as the Sydney Kings get us underway to start the second half, looking to build on an 11-point lead. They've scored the last 6 points in the game and restricted the Kiwis to just one field goal in the last 6 minutes of term number 2 as Roberts draws a foul on Ben Pepper. That's going to be his 4th personal foul, and that is big problems for New Zealand.
He's upset he didn't make that one. Watch this, Ben Knight just loses vision of his man. Nobody does that better than Andrew Gay. As soon as you lose him for a split second, he's got a sixth sense for knowing that. Makes a cut to the basket. Roland Roberts, in his youth, obviously has been coached well.
Let's see what the New Zealand Breakers can manufacture here. The lead out to 13. It's the biggest we've seen in the game. Certainly a big challenge now for the Breakers, who are in Townsville on New Year's Eve before heading home to host Perth on Sunday. Busiest week in the National Basketball League with 11 games, 3 on the shot clock for Mike Chappell, who loses it under pressure, and the Kings D solid again. Certainly not the confident swagger that we saw from the New Zealand Breakers in the first half. As Luke Martin goes to Jason Smith. Shot clock works its way down to 10 and beyond as Ben Knight joins in. Now Luke Martin, a long way from home, needs to get busy. Looks for the penetration. Held it in the air, and Roland Roberts is there for the tip in. The Kings have scored 10 unanswered points. Chappell needs help, provided by Hanari. And the Breakers looking all at sea at the moment. Shot clock down into single digits as Olsen had a shot, turned it down. Now has to find Pero Cameron with 1 on the shot clock. His fall away never looked likely. And the Kings just suffocating the New Zealand Breakers at the moment. Sanford caught it in rhythm. Flat-looking jumper, wouldn't climb over the front of the rim, though, and Olsen did a good job to scurry after it and keep it alive. The Breakers just sleepwalking at the moment.
They look tired.
Hanari goes to Olsen, harassed by Luke Martin. Now it's Pero Cameron with Jason Smith on his back, trying to keep 120 kilos at bay. No good. And Pero now has 14.
That's a very modest estimation, too, 120 kilos. Whatever he weighs, he's quick for his size, and he's a big body.
Here's Luke Martin again with the penetration. The wraparound pass batted out of court. Kings will restart with 10 on the shot clock as we get to Ben Thompson on the New Zealand Breakers bench. Benny, what happened here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we're playing good D for, 22 seconds, 20 seconds of the shot clock, and then just letting them have easy layups. We're right here. We're pretty happy the way we played the first half. Just some small things we've got to adjust.
The defensive pressure you guys were able to put, especially on the Sydney guards, keeping it out of their hands. You think you'll be able to maintain that for 4 quarters? That's tough to do.
Yeah, it is very tough to do, but our guards are pretty strong, pretty quick. We made a conscious effort before the game to put some clamps down on their guards. as Jason Smith to hit a 3 on us, but yeah, no, we're pretty happy with where we're at right now. I'll be telling Pero what you said about his weight too, Steve.
Well, you heard that, huh?
You tell us then, Benny. What does he weigh? Are there scales at the club? Is anyone releasing that information?
Yep, 95. A trim 95.
I got to get on those scales. Aaron Olsen and Hanari, they've been under a lot of pressure. Did you see this as an opportunity for them, given the manpower problems that Sydney have got at the moment?
So, I mean, not really. I mean, you know, they lose CJ, but then guys like Luke Martin, BJ Carter, you know, those type of guys are stepping up for them. You know, they're not on top of the ladder for no reason at all.
And are you enjoying your role with the Breakers?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a great team to play with, great bunch of guys. Pretty happy with the way I'm playing so far this year, and you know, pretty happy with this game as well. But it'd be great to have a couple more wins, get off the bottom of the ladder.
We hear you, Benny. Thanks very much for your time.
Not a problem.
Ben Thompson speaking with us there, a live in-game interview, and good hands from Ben Pepper to keep it alive. Olsen wants to take Luke Martin on, has to retreat now. Hanari to Chappelle, who travelled. He's one of those players that has suffered in terms of confidence when you consider last year he was the second leading scorer in the league, top 5 in three-point shooting. But Mike Chappelle just hasn't been able to get it going this season.
That's definitely a walk. Those are kind of lazy mental error type travels, you know, not really going anywhere. And lazy footwork.
Jason Smith. Now Ben Knight, guarded by Pero Cameron. Shot clock to single numbers for the Kings. As Jason Smith looks for some help. Ben Knight baseline, wants to get inside Cameron. And now a foul has been called on Pero Cameron. That is going to be his third personal. Second team foul on the Kiwis in this period. Kings restart. They have all the answers at the moment. As Ben Knight finds Roland Roberts working down low inside of Ben Pepper on the baseline and coming up with another 2. 18 for Roberts, who leads all scorers. Hanari finds Pero Cameron measuring the 3. Wouldn't tumble. Chappelle batted it away from Sanford. It spills to Ben Knight, who wants to run the floor. And Jason Smith joins in, guarded by Hanari. Roland Roberts sneaks back door. He has 20, including 8 in this period, and that is out of the 11 the Sydney Kings have scored.
Sydney just keep pumping fresh bodies at him, and they're just setting a pace that New Zealand can't handle. That's a foul.
Roberts is called for the foul, his third personal. Sanford already has 3, as does BJ Carter and Ben Knight.
Stop coming in.
Let's have a look at the other end of the floor. Watch that. That's just a great pass. That's a great pass. And on the other end, Roland Roberts just feeling a little too ambitious. I think you body a ball handler and he makes it look like you're really killing him. And he's selling the call, you know, right in front of the referee. You got to pick and choose your spots when you're going to be physical.
18-point lead now for the Sydney Kings and the New Zealand Breakers with plenty to deal with. As Pero Cameron spins on Ben Knight, ran out of room. Olsen available baseline, caught the front of the rim. Chappelle climbing in over the back of Jason Smith has done enough to win possession back for the Kiwis. Chappelle will get a rest now, replaced by Ben Thompson. It's still the offense not where the New Zealand Breakers need it to be. They hit 12 field goals in the first period and only 5 since. We played almost 5 minutes of term number 3. Timmins to Hanari to Cameron to Ben Thompson. Taking on Ben Knight and Jason Smith. Coughed it up. Sanford will get this for the dunk and does it in style as he cuts the reverse. They toss it down.
Wow.
20-point lead for the Sydney Kings. And the Breakers with all sorts of trouble now. After 5 minutes of term number 3. Again, Cameron fires the triple unsuccessfully. Sanford trying to keep it alive has coughed it up. And the Breakers will get possession.
Timeout.
Well, that's worth another look, Steve. Get this on Plays of the Week if you can.
That's right. You know, I want to see if he travels, catches a basketball. I mean, not that I want them to call it, but they've called a couple on New Zealand there. Let's see it. He catches it. Well, I wouldn't have called it because I knew a highlight was coming. How can that guy see with that headband on?
Kings by 20 as we go to the New Zealand huddle. Courtside vision and courtside audio will take you to Brian Gourgian if you would prefer.
Marcus, Benny T, right, on the misses, we're back to 2-3. Right, 2-3 zone. Right, keep the heat on the basketball. Work as hard as you can on your position on the inside. That's where we're getting hurt at the moment. Right, working off the ball, keep the pressure on the outside, but just keep checking people as they're coming through the keyway. Right? On the miss, on the made, we're in man-to-man. On the made, we're in man-to-man. We've got to look to keep running the ball out. Right, this is really important. In offense, we're running shirts, and let's run it well. Got it? You got it well. PC, you start it low. You play the four-man. On-ball screen and then screen away. Got it? On-ball screen and screen away. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on.
Man, it just fell apart so quickly.
The Kings have outscored New Zealand 50-19 since there were 2 minutes to play in the first term.
Well, I'm not going to be surprised by anything after we called that Brisbane-Townsville game.
There's Pero Cameron from close range breaking the drought for the New Zealand Breakers. 16 in the match now for Pero, who leads the Breakers. Here's Ben Knight. He's been very selective in his shooting. Now 4 of 7 from the field. He's into double figures, the 4th player for the Kings to do so. Lindsay Tate against Luke Martin. Now Timmins from well outside the three-point line. He knocks down the 3. That is the first triple for New Zealand since the first term. They missed 9 in a row, and now Timmins rejects the shot from Luke Martin as well, and Tate shows us his quicks. Takes Sheridan on with a stutter step, draws a foul, and free throws to come for Lindsay Tate.
Started off with a very good defensive play on the other end of the floor for New Zealand with a block shot and explore on the break. And you're down 20. Everybody's expecting you to lose. Get this thing out going on the break. There you go. Turn the corner. Sheridan with some good hands in there. The referee right in front of it didn't call the play. That's what New Zealand, I mean, that's what Sydney are concerned about.
Lindsay Tate with a career-high 15, which came against Cairns 17 days ago. 15-point ball game. Breakers have scored the last 5, and they need a little more where that came from. Less than 6 minutes to play in this third period as B.J. Carter penetrates, comes up with his first points. Ben Thompson working against fellow number 12, Brad Sheridan. Wants to take him on, down low off the window. That wouldn't tumble. Ben Knight with the rebound. Has been busy there with 8 boards in the match to lead that category. 3 rebounds is the game high for a New Zealand player. Olsen, Boucher and Pepper with that number. Kings swing the ball around the perimeter. B.J. Carter to Sheridan. Now Sanford, who's ready to shoot the ball. Couldn't find the target, however. Ben Thompson after the rebound, feeding Lindsay Tate. 5 minutes left, term number 3, and Tate wants to take them on again. Lost control under pressure from B.J. Carter. And they turn it over for the 14th time. The Kings have 11 turnovers in the match. B.J. Carter looking for Sheridan. And exchange passes with the shot clock working down to single numbers as Ben Knight looks to hand off. Now Jason Smith needs help. 2 on the shot clock for Sanford. He rushes to the hoop and throws down another dunk.
Yeah, he knew exactly how much time was left on the shot clock. Marcus Timmins thought he had to shoot that thing before it expired.
In the corner is Olsen, left all alone. He comes up with the goods as well. Even dozen now for Olsen, including 2 of 6 from long range. The Kings still with a healthy buffer as we count down the last 4 minutes. Turn number 3 from the Kingdome. BJ Carter. Down low to Sanford, whose slow pass was never going to get to Sheridan. Ben Thompson picked it off. Tate arriving now. Olsen also up the floor quickly, drawing a foul on BJ Carter. 4th team foul on the Kings in this period. 4th personal for Barry.
Mark Sanford, he's been active tonight. He wants the basketball, and this is the one we were saying he knew exactly how much time was left. He got that thing off.